Hot sizzling. Welcome to SOUQ Sports. It's a brand new week. And yes, how better to describe the weekend other than exciting? Manchester City picking a point deep into stoppage time against Arsenal. Anthony Joshua, knocked down on Wembley. Is he out? Well, time will tell. Enyimba qualified through penalties for the group stage of the CAF Confederations Cup. And of course, massive away wins in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Welcome once again to the show. I am the top cat, TC Barra, and with me on the show,
heavyweight champion.
You.
Champion of the world. Charlie Montero.
That is it, my man. Glad to have you on the show.
It's good to be on the show one more time. It's Monday. Let's get it. Let's get the money right. Let's get the moves right. Let's get our show right. Welcome to SOUQ Sports. I remain Charlie Montero, your one and only.
That's what's up. He's fair. I'm Dak. You can call us black and white. Get down from the local scene, or start off from the local scene, where El Kanemi Warriors returned to the MPFL football scene after a 1 week hiatus. You know, the Borno flood affected them, and so they went on some flood-induced break to shock El Kanemi Warriors. What do you call them? El Kanemi Warriors against what's the name now? Borno. So it was a great game, you know, as we saw MPFL match day 2 last, the weekend because of the flood disaster in their home state in Borno. So during the game, the newly promoted side came from 2 goals down to score 3 goals. Now, the 4-3 comeback win has pushed El Kanemi Warriors to the 4th spot on the league table, pending the outcome, of the other game. So we saw El Kanemi Warriors against Nasarawa United in that particular game. Massive goals coming left, right, center. 7 goals in all to bring it to a total of 4 goals. 3 for this other side, 4 for El Kanemi Warriors. So Nasarawa was able to find the back of the net 3 times, El Kanemi Warriors 4 times, and it was 7 goals, massive goals, banging it left, right for El Kanemi Warriors here. But the Rivers United continued their unbeaten run away against Lobby Stars. We saw Kabiru Abdullahi scoring the lone goal in that 1-0 win. Based on that slim win, Rivers United topped the MPFL table with 7 points in 3 games after 2 wins and 1 draw so far this season. We also saw the Rivers Commissioner for Sports, Barrister Chris Green, reward Rivers United for their fine start to the MPFL campaign, and was gathered that Green, who was pitch side for match day 3 of that MPFL clash with Lobby Stars, rewarded the management with $500,000 naira, 1 million to the technical crew. So the management got 500, 1 million for the technical crew, and 2 million to the players.
That's a beautiful way, to spur these players up, to encourage them to do more. I mean, I don't want to get into how the money will be shared and all that. But it's always a good sight to see these guys, come out and you see there is a reward for success. And the management taking it upon themselves to do what is right, regardless of what they are being paid. Just do what is right. Encourage these players. Show them that they matter. Show them that what they do really matter, and you're happy with it. I mean, it goes a long way. It goes a long way, and it's good to see.
All right, we'll just take a moment, and when we'll get back, we'll bring you the rest of the stories from the MPFL right here. Just stay tuned. Glad to know that you are still tuned in to SOUQ Sports. And of course, we'll start off again from the MPFL, where Kwara United technical advisor Tunde Sani has blamed his players for a goalless draw against Ikorodu City. Sani, when his boys faced the Oga boys, stated that the players were too anxious to score in the game. And of course, that game was played under floodlights. Let me talk about that floodlight situation. Or just before that, let you know that keenly contested, Ikorodu United picking that point on the road, despite the game being a barren draw. But then a lot of persons have talked about the floodlights. That game was scheduled for 5:30 p.m. on Sunday, and so it went into 7:30 thereabout. That's when the game was concluded. And then there's the talk about the fact that the lights were not properly, or the stadium was not properly lit, despite having floodlights. So whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. The question now comes, why did Kwara insist on playing in the night?
But that is a question that they need to answer, because I don't see, if you don't have proper or adequate preparations or adequate facilities to host night games, why don't you bid to play your games earlier, or try to play your games? There's 3 p.m, there's 2 p.m. Kickoff time, early kickoff time. I know they are not directly responsible for choosing a time or picking when the fixtures are being fixed all the time, but when such a thing is done, you know that you're going to play at night. Why don't you test this facility?
The change,
the scenery, and everything is different all of a sudden. The ball can skip your eyes when it's not properly lit. So I don't know. It's a big concern, and they should try and look into it and make sure that things change, because this is not going to be the first time or the last time that they will have this sort of fixtures. And if people have come out to complain, or if Ikorodu FC have come out to complain and say this is wrong, or was an issue, look at how Daisy is even affecting the camera and the quality of output. So I think they should work on this. They should look for a solution quickly, so it won't dampen the quality of the game in the long run.
Well, take a look at the game. Near misses, a lot of chances were created, and Coach Bright Ozebabe says he seemed quite happy. Well, he seemed happy while expressing confidence in his voice as they picked up 1 point on the road. Let's listen to the Ikorodu City coach, Coach Bright Ozebabe.
This is key for us. Helps us with our confidence going to the next game at home. So the boys did show some character today, and he paid for us at the end. Yes. Yeah, we need to keep concentration. Yeah, we need to stay positive. We need to try to win second balls. We need to be calm, not to make sloppy errors. So these are things we work on after our first game in Katsina. Yes. Performance was key. Yeah, they did their part, and the sub that we brought in helped us stabilize the team, and the result did pay us at the end. Yeah, we're playing at home is different. The mentality is different. The confidence is there. We're going to play our brand of football. Yeah, and the fans are going to enjoy the game. Congratulations, sir.
United are winless this season after 2 games. The Harmony Boys will square up against Barca United next week in Yenagoa. And of course, Ikorodu City will be playing their next game at home. And definitely we right here will be there to bring you, a live update. Well, maybe not a live, but then we'll bring you update of how the games that pan out. But then let's come to you real quick. 1 point from 2 games now for Ikorodu City. One of their games, I think the one against Enyimba, was postponed because of continental engagement. We've talked about the baptism of fire. Do you think they're beginning to get in tune with the workings of the NPFL?
Well, like you rightly said, I think yes, they're starting to settle down. They're starting to settle in. They're starting to know what it requires to play on top level. I mean, a goalless draw is not at all a bad outing for them, because they're still new to it and they are learning the game, and they were able to make chances there. It's not like they were void of chances or void of creation. You see them go forward, and it was an end-to-end game. They tried to take the game to Kwara United, and they showed what they can do. Just like the coach rightly said, they need to, more or less what they need to do more of is to take their chances once it presents itself, and not have that lackluster or cluster behavior when you get into the game. Once they have their chances, they should take it, because once they start playing the bigger boys, they will not get these chances. So once you have a chance like this, you take it, you kill the game off, and focus on the next one. But it's good to see that they are getting into stride, and they are no longer defeated, huge defeats anymore. So 2 games, 1 point is a slow start. It's disappointing maybe to the players or to the management, but then they can pick the positives, learn from it, and move ahead.
Well, the Oga boys, we're rooting for them right here. And of course, we'll move to the east where Heartland played host to Katsina United. Game going down at the Dan Anyam Stadium where the Shanji boys were held by the Nazi Millionaires to a barren draw as well. Match day fixture, Katsina United labeled the result as a very valuable point. Emmanuel Amuneke without a win ever since he resumed with the MPFL outfit. Of course, he is the coach of Heartland Football Club. But then, one man who is distinguished himself, which is Daniel Ogumodede, has led leaders Remo Stars Football Club of Ikene back to the top of the Nigerian Professional Football League 2024-2025 season. He stunned former champions and host Kano Pillars. Well, they were dislodged on Saturday by another former champions, Rivers United FC of Port Harcourt. And of course, they went on to show Kano Pillars, the same as Sugida side, what they're made of. Congratulations to them. So we saw massive wins. If we could have the results of the MPFL, on the screen now, we saw massive wins away. We saw teams win away.
Go away and win.
And exactly. So Rivers United won away. Right. We also saw El Kanemi Warriors beat Nasarawa United away. Niger Tornadoes on Sunday beat Plateau United 2-1 away. And Remo Stars, beat the same as Sugida side 2-0. We also saw Area Warriors pick up a point on the road, Ikorodu pick up a point on the road, 1 point each. And it just points out to the fact that no home win was recorded in this match day fixture. What do you make out of the MPFL?
I feel the MPFM is now getting a lot more competitive because we are used to seeing when teams go away, you get threatened.
Yeah.
How do you expect yourself to come to our home and take a win?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's now getting a bit more open. Teams are now more competitive, and people are now understanding that the game of football is whoever plays better wins, whoever gets the result does. And we are starting to abolish the long tradition of if you go away, you shouldn't expect a win. You could settle with a draw and all that.
Yeah.
But I think the DNA is changing and the game is evolving, and we want to and we encourage to see more of this because it makes the league a bit more competitive, and it brings this kind of beauty.
The faith people now would have faith in the system.
And when fans will be encouraged
to want to come out,
to want to come and support their team even when they are playing away from home. So I guess it's a positive for us to take away from the MPFL.
All right, let's take a look at how things stand in the MPFL from the MPFL table. On top of the summit from 1 to 20 teams who are in what position. So Remo Stars back at the top with 9 points from 3 games. That's a clean sheet. Rivers United in second with 7 points. Niger Tornadoes have got 7 points from 3 games. Sunshine Stars complete the first 4 there. And then in that order, you have El Kanemi Warriors, Kano Pillars, Plateau United, Katsina United, Ava FC, with just 1 game played so far. They've got 3 points, and that's why you have them in that position. Shooting Stars have played 2. Aqua United have played 2. Nasarawa United have played 3 and have picked up 2 points. Likewise, Abia Warriors, who have played 3 and have only picked up 2 points. Rangers International in 14th. Bendel Insurance in 15th position. Those are the way things are from 1st to 15th there on the table. Kwara United in 16th position with just 1 point. Lobby Stars in 17th position with just 1 point from 2 games. Bayelsa United have only mustered 1 point and are in 18th position. And then we see teams marooned to the bottom. Ikorodu City, Oga Boys, Oga at the bottom with 1 point from 2 games. And completely at the bottom of the summit there. It's not a very good position for you to find yourself. But then what do you make out of the table?
Well, it's starting to take shape, but we cannot, make any conclusive judgment from 3 games. A lot of games still yet to be played. You can see that some people have not even completed their 3 game match fixtures yet. So we can not conclusively say that the table has taken. But everybody that is on the table, or where any one of them is on the table, is completely deserved, or will I say is deserved of them at the moment. So the game there's still a lot of games to be played, and there's still a lot of matches to be played. So with time, I think they will start to take shape.
Well, sadly, Heartland, who were relegated last season, are the ones who are at the bottom of the league table. And it's not surprising. It feels like they're not deserving to be in this MPFL, despite, getting a very experienced head coach, to lead the team. So we'll move on now to continental football, where Enyimba yesterday emerged as the only surviving Nigerian club on the continent. They edged out Etoile Filante of Burkina Faso 3-2. But they had to do it on penalties. It was the last round of the preliminaries of the CAF Confederations Cup. And, they went back and forth.
A lot of them.
Some persons would say Filante dominated the game. Some persons believed Enyimba were resolute. But then, Angola's Sagrada Esperança gave Rangers something else, to deal with. But Enyimba were able to hold their Burkina Faso opponent to that goalless draw. Having also played a goalless draw in the first leg, and which required the games to go to penalty. Both sides ended the tie goalless over the two legs, and we saw Enyimba going into penalties, converting 3 out of their very first 5 shots there. We also saw Etoile Filante, converting 2. But then I think the person who you might describe as the hero of the penalty will be the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
I mean,
goalie.
He was outstanding. He was confident. He seemed boisterous. I mean, when it felt like all hope was lost and nothing could be done, while Enyimba players were fagged out, drenched in sweat and marred by fatigue, we saw the goalkeeper, exercise something. And it's surprising that we would have Enyimba show such level of exhaustion. I wonder, yes, they've gotten into the group stages. Would they be able to go all the way?
Well, they should be able to go all the way. I mean, doing this at home, getting this result should be more like a positive, boost for them. Because if they could manage this, of course they can try. They can only try really, and go for a good or a stronger outing and show what they're capable of. We know Enyimba of back in the days when they go, for these competitions, they represent Nigeria well, and we are proud of them. I mean, it's one of the clubs in the MPFL that once you mention the name across any, geopolitical zone in Nigeria, and they'll easily recognize Enyimba. Yeah, we can identify with Enyimba, and that's because of their previous successes. So I feel that they can get into that stride and really show the country what they are capable of.
Well, Coach Olarinwaju said it was some sort of luck for his players to get to this stage of the competition. Let's take a listen to Enyimba's coach.
Honestly speaking, I won't want to take the credit. I want to give the credit to all my backroom staff, and the players, because I'm the youngest among them. And you see the way I scream, and you see the way I was screaming at the players today. I'm the kind of guy who demands so much from myself, and I demand from the team. So pushing them to this level and achieving this, I think it's great for the club. And for me personally, I'm not the type of coach who is always after personal ambition. I think about the team first. The team come first. So for me, as a group and as an individual, I think I feel great. This is what I've always worked for. As a coach, I always wanted to coach at the top level, and the kind of energy I put into the work, and with help of God, I think God has been very good to me, and I want to return the glory to God for this.
Well, what do you make out of that?
Well, it's very humble. I mean, straight to the point, telling that it is not just him that they should, sing the praises to. You should also sing the praises to the coach, the backroom
But don't
staff.
you think this person never expected to be here at this
Really,
stage?
we can attribute it to a decent company. You don't really expect, as long as you know what you are doing and you are good at it.
What a comparison.
Yeah,
you had to.
Yeah, but rightly so. Rightly so, because I feel like he is humble because he not expect himself to be in that position, but it's what he has, built his career to be able to achieve in the long run. I mean, once you start out in a career, you like, this is where I want to be, and now he's doing it, and he has brought the glory to himself and to the country, to the players as well.
Well, I do not want to talk about the People's Elephants performance, but they will play in the group stage of the competition. It's a chance for them to start afresh. While Rangers lost 3-1 to the Angolans to exit the Champions League, 3-2 on aggregate. it's just sad that they had to bow out. The Flying Antelope had a 1-0 home win in the first leg, and then suffered a 3-1 defeat in the return fixture against the Angola side. Talking about Sagrada Esperanca. So that brings the scoreline 3-2 on aggregate, and
The sigh of disappointment, really, because I felt like they had the advantage going into that game. So why don't you defend?
yeah.
Why don't you try and control the game? Why don't you try and dictate the game? Frustrate your opponents to, make lackluster decisions or make decisions that. I mean, we saw the game between Arsenal and City.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give you a kind of insight as to what they would have done. They would have been calm, controlled, because you have the advantage. Be calm, stick to the tactics the coach has laid out for you, and just see this game through. Make sure you see it over the line. But it's disappointing, really. We would have really loved for another Nigerian side to be, representing us across the continent. But then it is what it is, and the game is the game, really. We just have to encourage them, come back home and, get your league campaign going and show us that you need to, or show us that you deserve to be there next season, and try to accomplish that.
So everyone should rally behind the People's Elephant and share them, because we do not have representative in the CAF Champions League as a country, talking about Nigeria. And so we'll move from the continent of Africa, beam our searchlight on Europe, and focus will be on England, the English Premier League, where Manchester City forward Bernardo Silva said only one team came to play football when his side, Manchester City, faced Arsenal in a game that ended 2-2. Arsenal were accused of employing dark arts at the Etihad Stadium. However, Gunners manager Mikel Arteta believed that it was just a miracle that his side could come close to victory as they played the second half with 10 men. John Stones' 98-minute equalizer, having had a 7-minute added time, denied Arsenal what would have been a very huge victory over the defending champions. Winger Landro Trossard was sent off, first half injury time. The Gunners had just 12.5% of possession in the second half, and City had 28 shots in the second period, a number eclipsed only by the momentous Aguero title-winning second half against QPR in 2012. What do you make out of this blockbuster?
It is a blockbuster for us to start with. I mean, let me start by criticizing Lisandro Trossard. I don't like criticizing players, but I felt like
he should have done better.
Should have done better, because not a couple of matches ago, we saw the same thing happen with Declan Rice. I mean, they should have learned from it. Losing a key player for a silly action, just like kicking the ball or trying to delay play. You shouldn't do that. I mean, Arteta should, take control and make his players understand that.
You feel he's a little bit laissez-faire with his players?
No,
he's not very hard.
He is.
Maybe firm
because
on them.
I think I watched a documentary on Arsenal a while ago, and he knows how to communicate his emotions strictly at the players. And I feel like he is now going to pay attention to this. He's now going to pay attention to the fact that his players want to always delay the time, or it's now becoming something like a characteristic of Arsenal players, only want to try and delay the play or use mind games, to delay the game. But they can't keep doing this. They need to show the stride of champions. I mean, you are going to the Etihad, play the game, but I still want to take out my frustration at Bernardo Silva for making that kind of claim. I mean, I think Man City players are starting to be arrogant. I beg your pardon, because we saw during Champions League when they played an Atletico Madrid, I think 2021 season of Champions League. He came out to say that he has never seen a team play behind the ball, play so compact, and just. That's the game. That's the only way teams have identified that you can stop
Manchester City dominated the game.
They did.
Through and through.
Through and through, yes. We know Man City has the capacity, or has the players, has the quality to dominate the game from beginning to end. So it's now left for the opposing team to know that this is not, we can't match them stride for stride. We have to look for a tactics that will help, soak up the pressure, keep these people in check. And I think that was what they had. That was the only option they had to. They could have applied yesterday.
What do you make out of that goal? 98 minutes, 7 minutes time.
It was heartbreaking for me, because I really wanted to see City have an L, because Arsenal, for me, playing behind the ball, being so compact, defending with everybody behind the ball is very difficult to do. It's very difficult to play football when you are chasing.
I think the goalkeeper had lost concentration. He was fatigued or something.
I wouldn't really blame the goalkeeper. I would blame it on the players, because they were scattered around him. his vision was
And
blocked at some point. So I think he did well. For me, he was the man of the match, and I think they rightly gave him the man of the match. And all praise to Raya. He was the one that kept them in the game. Shots were flying in from left, right, and center, and you see this Raya just stopping them, and you're like, oh my God, at the edge of your seat. So it was a blockbuster, like you said, and I say kudos to Arsenal.
Well, Luis Diaz scored twice in 2 first-half minutes as Liverpool returned to winning ways in the Premier League with an emphatic victory over Bournemouth at Anfield. Now, you recall that Arne Slot's team were beaten 1-0 by Nottingham Forest, where they walked alone into the forest. The win lifted Liverpool top of the Premier League before Sunday's game between last season's top two, Manchester City and Arsenal, happened. So let's take a look at some of the EPL results and take a look at the table after the weekend. We saw, games as well, Chelsea against West Ham.
Yep.
We also saw, Manchester United in action. But then West Ham losing at home to Chelsea gave some talking points, or well, some bragging rights to the Blues.
Yeah.
Aston Villa were winners over Wolverhampton Wanderers. We saw Newcastle United lose to Fulham. Leicester City and Everton were in a 1-1 draw. And of course, Southampton and Ipswich shared the spoils 1-0. Tottenham Hotspur beat Brentford 3-1. A massive comeback for them after that game against Arsenal.
Yeah.
And Crystal Palace and Manchester United goalless. That broke a lot of hearts.
It did, mine especially, because I expected that Manchester United would go there and show their prowess. I mean, they did that in the midweek, and they gave everybody high hopes that they can repeat that feat and copy and paste it on Saturday, and just give us a wonderful viewership. But then it was really more or less cancellations, wrong decisions, and just
Plenty things.
Crazy.
But then let's move over to the La Liga, where Barcelona beat Villarreal to maintain their 100% record in the La Liga. It was Barca's goalkeeper Marc-Andre ter Stegen who suffered a very serious injury and had to be carried off on a stretcher. Robert Lewandowski got 2 goals and missed the penalty. Rafinha grabbed a double, and Pablo Torre also scored as Hansi Flick's side made it 6 league wins from 6. So Barcelona are top of the La Liga, 4 points clear of reigning champions Real Madrid, who have drawn 2 of their 6 matches. But Kylian Mbappe scored his 4th goal in 3 La Liga games as Real Madrid came from behind to earn an emphatic victory over Espanyol. Despite their dominance, the unbeaten host thrilled 9 minutes into the second half when Thibaut Courtois diverted Geoffrey Carrera's cross into his own net. And now that turnaround was complete with 15 minutes remaining when Rodrigo met Vinicius Junior's cross before substitute Vinicius added a third 3 minutes later. And then Kylian superstar Mbappe converted a late penalty. I mean, it just allowed him, dude, put your name on the score sheet or something like that. So Barcelona top of the table, Real Madrid in second, Atletico Madrid in third, Atletico Club in third, I beg your pardon, and followed by Atletico Madrid with 12 points. So it's 18, 14, 13, 12, completing the first 4, teams there that will be making it to the Champions League. That is, if it remains like that, but then that these things will not be like this for a very long time. So you have a look at the table, see how things are, in the La Liga, and of course, about 7 or 6 games have been played across board, with a lot more to happen. And we do have a game today, and that's going to be Real Betis taking on Mallorca at 8 p.m. So La Liga still happens tonight, Monday Night Football. Yeah. But then quickly we move on to the Serie A, where Marcio Gabbia scored a dramatic late winner as AC Milan beat the very fierce rivals in Inter. Now, it was a Milan derby, and to ease that pressure, AC Milan had to win to ease the pressure on their manager, Paulo Fonseca. Now, Milan came into the game with a report suggesting that the boss, Fonseca, was under huge pressure just 4 games into the Serie A season after what has been described as an underwhelming start for them. So we saw them picking up the maximum, win there, 2-1 against Inter. Congratulations to Milan on that one. In other games, Juve and Napoli both missed the chance to move to the top of the Serie A table after it ended goalless in Turin. It was a barren stalemate at the Allianz Arena, and I've not seen such a game, but then finders keepers. It's best no victor, no vanquish. Everyone just rest your case. So in all the games, we saw Venezia beat Genoa 2-0. We also saw Leeds and Parma end up 2-2. That was on Saturday. And then previously, all the games have been played. Check out on the screen the results of these games. Fiorentina 2, Lazio 1, Monza 1, Bologna 2, and then Roma seeming to have picked up the biggest scoreline of the weekend, having beaten Udinese by 3-0. All right, today we'll see Atlanta play host to Como at 7:45 p.m. and hopefully our boy will be in action.
Yeah, I was going to say that Ademola Lookman should light up the stage, coming back from a barren Champions League outing. I feel like he will be recharged, he'll be revitalized, and he will be ready to take this league by storm because he's the shining light at the moment in that team, and he's, won from Nigeria. Everyone will be watching that game to see how far, he goes and how much he competes. I know Nigeria knows how to support their own, regardless of whatever
club affiliations, wherever we
just know how to support their own, and we'll really be behind him. Go out there and show us what you're capable of.
Well, talking about Nigerians, let's backtrack a little bit to the La Liga, where we do have Juke and Iheanacho not getting enough playing time, in the La Liga. And that seems to have caused a bit of worry for supporters and Nigerians who follow these leagues, and there's probably the idea that they might be loaned out. Do you think that would be good for them?
Well, it depends on what the manager sees or how the manager wants to play. First and foremost, I don't know why they got those players if they're not going to play them, but I think it's more or less like an easing in process. It's more or less like an onboarding process. They need to get accustomed to the league, and I don't see a better way of getting accustomed to the league when you're not playing. You can't sit on the bench and say, "Oh, I'm taking in or I'm doing IT."
But they need players.
But then they need to rack up some playing time, which can also impact their performances as well. Because if these players are sat on the bench, once they have 10 minutes cameo, what do they it takes a huge mentality for you to be able to come on and change the game. But then we clamoring for change and we are clamoring for these players. If you do not want to use them, please send them out alone because they're important to us in our national team. And we're really hoping to see our Nigerian players flourish in the international scene.
Well, let's get on the train and go across to Germany. Guten Tag, Germany. Harry Kane became the top scoring English player in Bundesliga history. Well, he netted his 41st league goal for Bayern Munich, and it was 5-0, contributing a fraction, of the number of goals scored at Werder Bremen. Michael Olise and Jamal Musiala gave the visitors a 2-goal lead at halftime before Kane slotted past Werder Bremen goalkeeper Mikel Zetera from the edge of the box. And his landmark goal moved him above Jadon Sancho, who scored 40 Bundesliga goals for Borussia Dortmund. Now, that result has ensured that Vincent Kompany's side remain top of the Bundesliga table. 4 wins. Take a look at it on the screen. The Bundesliga has got a newcomer leading it. Champions Bayer Leverkusen remain a point behind Bayern. And that's also after a dramatic 4-3 victory over Wolfsburg. We saw Victor Boniface score in the 3rd minute of injury time for Leverkusen. While seeing the highlights of that game, the goal was coming back to back. I mean, I score. And Victor Boniface was able to, score that. And he put up a post that is available for marriage, right? I mean, if you're looking for fiancé with price tags. Anyway, that's social media rant. Borussia Dortmund in another fixture thrashed 5-1 by Stuttgart.
I never saw that one coming. Well, we know what Stuttgart are capable of. We saw their outing against the Champions League winners, Real Madrid. But going and doing that against Borussia Dortmund, I never expected that. But really, it's really a good one to see that there's no king forever. So Dortmund need to go back to the drawing board and right their wrongs. But it was an embarrassing outing for them, I would tell you.
Newly promoted start hosting Kiel picked up their first point from the game at Bochum. And we want to see how they will to survive, Union Berlin had beaten Hoffenheim 2-1, and Eintracht Frankfurt winners over Borussia Mönchengladbach 2-0. Well, earlier we saw Augsburg lose to Mainz 2-3. That was on Friday. To the French Ligue 1, Jonathan Rowe bagged the 90th minute winner for Marseille as they came from behind to clinch a 3-2 victory over Lyon in the Ligue 1. England's under-21 international scored his first goal for the club after joining from Norwich City on a season-long loan. Marseille are level on points with Paris Saint-Germain, who drew 1-1 with Reims on 13 points after 5 matches. Monaco are on the same number of points after battling 3-1 win over Le Havre. We also saw Marseille, PSG, and Monaco all unbeaten in the league this season, along with fourth-placed Lens. We'll take a moment, and when we return, we'll be completing the remainder of the show right here on SOUQ Sports. Glad to know you are still with us. I'm trying to learn how to swing. Straight to golf. America's Billy Horschel held his nerve to beat Rory McIlroy in the Chilean playoff and clinched the BMW PGA Championship title. Horschel, McIlroy, and Tristan Lawrence entered the three-way playoff at Wentworth in Surrey after ending the final rounds on 20 under par. So a bogey from Lawrence on the first hole made it a two-horse race, and Horschel wrapped up victory with an eagle. It's the second time Horschel has won the PGA Championship, having also come out on top at Wentworth in 2021. So for Rory McIlroy, it's another near miss after being beaten in tight fashion on several occasions this year, and that also includes last week's Irish Open when falling away in the later stages during his pursuit of a fifth major at the US Open. So quickly we get into the car, belt up, cross it, shift gears, and throttle. Formula One. McLaren's Lando Norris dominated the Singapore Grand Prix to take a further chunk out of Max Verstappen's advantage in the championship. Verstappen finished a distant second in his Red Bull. Is now 52 points ahead of the Briton with maximum of 180 available over the remaining 6 races. But Norris was deprived of an extra point by Daniel Ricciardo after Red Bull's junior team RB fitted soft tires with a lap to go, so the Australian could take the fastest lap from the Briton on the final tour. Despite Norris's imperious win, the average point gain by which he needs to eat into Verstappen's lead still went up to slightly 8.7 a race. So Norris McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri finished third from fifth on the grid, passing both Mercedes driver on track after a later pit stop. So Ferrari's Charles Leclerc looked like he might do the same as he fought back from his 9th place on the grid. But then, after passing Lewis Hamilton, George Russell held off the Ferrari when he caught him in the closing laps to take 4th from Leclerc and Hamilton. Oh, crazy stuff. We'll run away from Formula One now real quick and let you know that 2-time world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua is at crossroads. Hold on. He was humbled at the hands of fellow Briton Daniel Dubois, and it happened at the Wembley. Pow, pow, pow. Crazy. Now, the 34-year-old was demolished in a powerful display by a man 7 years his junior. It was a 5th career defeat for Joshua, following losses to odds in the SOUQ in 2021 and 2022, and underdog Andy Rius Jr. in 2019. Saturday's fight was aged 32nd as a professional, and afterwards he hinted he had a rematch clause. Well, another boxer, Fury, watching ringside, joked that a television camera, that Joshua's defeat had cost him £150 million. And that sort of fee, he said, he could have expected if the two were to fight. In the meantime, Fury must focus on his rematch with Usyk in Saudi Arabia. That's coming up in December. Yeah. Joshua won gold at the 2012 Olympics in his home city of London and claimed his first world title over 5 years. 8 years ago. What do you make out of that fight?
Well, it was a disappointing outing, especially for his fans here, in Nigeria. But I would say he made a lot of errors that he could have avoided from a professional angle. Looking at it, you don't keep yourself open when you are fighting somebody as deadly, somebody as deadly as Dubois. you shouldn't give him those kind of chances. Yeah, he was a bit hungry. I mean, Joshua, he was, throwing in some punches, or he was packing in some punches there, but it was not as effective as the one the ball landed. So I think he should go back to the drawing board, get his, tactics right. If he does get a rematch, he should come up on top, because he shouldn't, give us a disappointing outing again. But I guess he would do what is expected of him, and get us where we need to be, or get himself where he needs to be.
Well, congratulations to Dubois, and better luck next time to Anthony Joshua. To tennis, let's let you know that Spain's Carlos Alcaraz stealed a straight set win against American Taylor Fritz to lead Team Europe to a 13-11 victory at the Lava Cup in Berlin. Of course, we hear the Manchester City are firmly in the mix to sign Jamal Musiala, who's 21, but then they're facing competition from Real Madrid for the Bayern Munich midfielder. Liverpool defender Trent Alexander-Arnold and the 25-year-old England international says winning trophies will be very key, when it comes to signing a contract extension with Liverpool. And Newcastle are the latest Premier League club to enter the race to sign American-born Italy's under-21 forward Luca Colesio, who is 20. The Premier League, along with Europe's top league, are trying to agree on a plan, and that plan means who would be going where. So it will mean the next summer transfer window closes before the start of the season, not eating into the season. Well, onto sports business, let's let you know that a new 3-year agreement has been reached with Barclays to remain the title sponsor of the Women's Super League and the Women's Champions League. And we hear that it's worth a region of £15 million a year, including investment, marketing, and it's double the previous arrangement, which runs out at the end of the season. And, Barclays became the title sponsor in 2019, and the renewal is set to be the biggest deal in the women's domestic football. And you realize they also extended their partnership with the Premier League, agreeing a new 4-year deal. Money makes the world go round.
Money really
even in
makes
sports, it
everything
makes
run.
the world go round.
And it's just outrageous to hear the amounts they're calling, but then it's good for the sport.
Yeah.
It keeps it moving, it keeps it rolling, it keeps the ball rolling. I mean, everybody is fed at the end of the day. Everybody takes home something at the end of the day. But it's like a major deal, when it comes to feminine sports or women football.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that we are taking positives, are making positive strides in encouraging these women to, come out and, show what they're able to do and deliver on the big stage, encouraging them to, feel included in this. But it's an encouraging side, really, and it's a welcome development.
Well, time flies when you're having fun. Many thanks to you for watching, but then we'd want to continue the conversation on social media. And so we ask you to go to our various social media platforms, SOUQ News Television, SOUQ News TV across board. Like, comment, share, and do let us know. We'd want to hear your feedback. We want to find out what your thoughts are. And I've been with none other than the most eligible
Charlie Montero. Well, it's a breeze, really. We really expect to spend longer time with you guys. We don't want to leave, but we have to. And it's a wrap, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we will say goodbye. See you on Wednesday.
we could do like
no. I'm not ready. Chill. I have to go and work out. I have to. No. Let's do the rematch on Wednesday. I'll be ready for you. Yeah.
All right, Wednesday we'll be back at 1 p.m. West African time. Until then, have yourself a wonderful day. Keep watching SOUQ News Television, and many thanks for everyone who's ensured that you can receive us crisp, loud, and clear. Pop, pop.